Hello and welcome back to McCards on the Move. Today we're going to be talking about the top 7 things that you need to get on day 1 of camping. It's actually quite surprising how much stuff you need to get because a lot of it doesn't come with the camper when you first buy it. One of the biggest surprises to me was it doesn't come with a dump hose. So if you go out on your first day and you decide you're going to camp and you need to hook this up to your dump so that way you can get rid of the waste, you're not going to be able to because they don't actually come with it. You have to buy that separately. When you buy that hose, most of them come with some extra accessories, but one of the ones that I would say is a must is it's going to come with the elbow here, but the elbow only really is good when you're going into the PVC fittings, but a lot of the state parks actually have concrete or metal fittings that don't have threads on them. So it's a good idea to get this little rubber grommet so that you'll be able to stick it in there and have it wedge a little better. Maybe a good idea to put a weight on it or something like that. And with that, you're going to want to have some gloves, and the kit also comes with the caps and an extension. So you have a couple of different options of ways to hook it up. As a little bonus, I have this piece here, which allows you to ramp it's accordion style, so you can lay your hose on it and get a nice little angle going so you don't get puddling going in your hose. Next thing I would recommend you get is some of these. These are Lynx levelers, and basically they have several uses. You can just stick it right up underneath the stabilizers, or if you don't have, like my camper has a leveling system on it, as you can see right there. So I don't really have to worry about how level I am when I pull into a site, but some trailers don't have that. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to set these up like so, and it's going to give you a way to drive up on that and raise your trailer an inch or two, whatever you need to do. Another surprising thing is your camper does not come with a hose, or at least mine did not. Maybe some of these places out there where you buy them will add that kind of stuff. You need to have some kind of hose. I recommend getting at least a 50-foot hose, because some of these campgrounds I've seen, the hoses will be, it'll be kind of a pretty good distance away from the camper. I use the flex hose. The only problem I found is this is my second flex hose, because I find that the ends tend to break on them and they start leaking right in here. It's a good idea to have a flex piece also, so when you connect it to your camper, it can turn down without kinking the hose. One of the things I like too is, just for making it quick, I use these quick disconnects here, and it just pops on. That way I don't have to sit there and worry about threading it every time. Another thing you're going to want to make sure you get is a water filter. I always keep an Xtra, just to be safe. But I think they last about 3 to 6 months, depending on how much you use them. My camper also has a filter on the inside of it, so I'm double filtering the water for mine. Your next must-have is a pressure regulator. I like the ones that you can adjust yourself, and it has the gauge on it so you can see what's going on. I've found that campgrounds that I've been at has been anywhere from 30 psi to 100 psi. You really don't want anything above 50, maybe 60 psi in your camper, because it can blow the hoses in there. I usually keep mine at 45, just so I know. Also, in the line of the water hose, it's a good idea to keep a pack of washers, because I tend to go through those washers on the campground side of it. The one on my trailer never seems to wear out, but the one on the campground, these things get ripped all the time. My camper is 50 amp. This one got broke on me because I was dragging it in and out in the rain and didn't really pay attention. But it's a 50 amp plug, and so I bought the Rapport 50 amp. It was just a cheap version that I got off of Amazon, but it's an RV circuit analyzer, and it's also a surge protector, and it's really nice because you can see all the little labels here and the instructions on what's going on. And I have found several campgrounds that had open neutrals, open grounds, missing legs. Man, these circuits at these places are never good. So you really got to make sure that your plug is correct, and you don't have any problems. And otherwise you end up burning up your power outlets and your extension cords and throwing breakers in the camper. It's much better to do it here than it is inside the camper. From there, you're going to find that some campgrounds will have 50 amps, sometimes they'll have 50 and 30, sometimes they'll just have 110, or which would be a 15 amp. So make sure you have the converters. Here at my house, I only had a 30 amp plug, so I take it from 50 amp and I use this adapter to plug it into a 30 amp plug. When I was boondocking up at our friend's Don house, they didn't have a 30 amp, all they had was a regular extension cord. So I use this. I can take it from 30 amp down to 15 amp, and that allows me to at least run some lights and stuff inside the camper as I need to when I'm boondocking, or when I'm mooch docking, I should say. So my camper did come with a spare tire. It's up underneath the camper itself. Sometimes they're mounted on the back. You never know where they're going to be. But it did not come with a jack or a wrench to install or to remove the tire. So you want to make sure before you head out that you've got a spare and that you've got a way to change that spare. Amazon had these jacks here, 10-ton hydraulic jack. It'll lift this camper no problem whatsoever. This is a 9,000 pound max trailer, so a 20,000 pound jack should have no problem lifting it. I guess technically I could drive up on the blocks to get the one tire off the ground, or I could use my levelers to jack up my trailer. But I do have a jack just in case I need it. I have a breaker bar, I have the proper size wrench, and I keep a battery impact just to speed things along. Luckily I haven't had to use it yet, but you never know. Now it did come with this wrench, but that wrench is the right size for the lug nuts, but there's no way you could get enough pressure on that thing to break them loose. That wrench is actually for manually opening and closing my slides. The next thing I want to show you is wheel chocks. You definitely should have some wheel chocks in your arsenal. You never know when you're going to be parking on a hill. I don't recommend these little plastic ones. They break really easy. They slide. They're not really good. For nearly the same price, you can just get the big rubber ones, and they're a lot heavier and they hold up a lot better. That is definitely what I'll be getting in the future. I just grabbed these as a spur of the moment. I had to have them, so it's what I've got. Another thing you're going to need is a weight distribution hitch. I bought originally, when I got this camper, just a cheap version that was like $300, and had lots of problems with the trailer swaying. I upgraded to this waist-safe distribution hitch, and this thing is amazing. If you can see the little gauge right here, it actually tells you how much hitch weight is on the trailer, so you know where your starting point is. And then it has an app that you input the dimensions of your trailer, the weight of your trailer, the distances from the axles to the hitch, and the weight of the hitch itself. And from there, it'll give you a number. In my case, it ends up being 2,300. My hitch weight is about 800 pounds, and it tells me you adjust this bolt right here, and the gauge will go up, and you'll actually see your truck start to lift a little bit because it moves the weight to the front of the truck. And I take mine up to 2,300, and that makes it tow so good. I'll show you the other portion of it out of the truck. So out here I've got these heavy bars, and they slide into that hitch, and then they raise up and set on top of this platform, and that allows it to kind of like, I guess it lifts up from the trailer to the truck, almost like you're pushing a wheelbarrow, and changes the weight distribution for you. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Is there more stuff that I should add to this? What is it that you guys bring when you're camping? Tune in next week and we'll talk about the top things you need on the inside of your camper.